It's perfectly okay to feel uncertain in life. Life is very complicated, it's confusing, it's messy. And oftentimes, we don't really get a lot of support in our lives. We lack emotional support, sometimes financial support. There's a lot of struggles, all sorts of struggles. So, in order to solve this problem of being confused in your life, there's a whole lot of routes we can take. And I want to combine a lot of them. I want to synthesize a lot of different points of view so that you can have a more comprehensive understanding on how to get out of uncertainty and relate to this from a more grounded place that is actually going to provide you with lasting changes. So, a very counterintuitive place to start off with this is embracing uncertainty. Embracing where you actually are right now, embracing your present circumstances, because either you're fighting against your circumstances and you're fighting against your own self and your own feelings, or you're in a state of acceptance with them. Learning to just feel the sensations of uncertainty. Essentially, you want to get comfortable with the emotion and just the pure felt sensations in the body of uncertainty and not knowing and feeling lost, rather than trying to just find something to cover up this feeling with, and then the second that thing's gone, you're back in the same emotional spot. So accept where you are fully, really embrace this period of your life of uncertainty, and it's going to come and go just like everything else. But without learning to ground yourself into your emotions and the sensations occurring in the body, without learning to really inhabit your body and your feelings, you can expect this emotional issue to just keep happening, and your ability to relate to this feeling to not really be very competent, really. You're not going to have the emotional intelligence that you really need to solve this problem at a very deep level. So for starters, we're just talking about building the emotional intelligence, connecting with the pure feelings of uncertainty, learning to just ground yourself in where you are now, in the present experience, learning to not fight against your feelings. A good way to do this is through mindfulness meditation, learning to just sit still with yourself and not need to judge yourself, not need to compare, not need to fight, but just learning to watch, accept, and just feel. Moving on is just taking care of your own needs, your physical needs, emotional needs, mental needs, social needs, spiritual needs. Make sure that your body's actually just in a healthy place. Feed it what it needs in order to be light. Feed it what it needs in order to be clear. Feed it what it needs in order to produce states of well-being. On top of that, ensure that you're getting maybe some sunlight. Go out into nature, right? Exercise, stretch, do some yoga. Make sure that you're flexible, right? Just taking care of physical needs so that your body is a place of well-being. This is going to help you to regulate the feelings that are occurring in your body, the feelings of uncertainty and confusion and being lost, right? This is a very powerful foundation to have in your life. If you don't have this health in your life, a lot of other things just simply aren't going to function properly in your life at all. On top of that is just emotional needs. So really, if you feel like maybe crying, try and allow yourself to cry. Again, just feeling what you're feeling. Meditate. Right, really connecting to the sensations in your body. I don't want to go into too much more depth about that one. Your mental needs. So really ensuring that the information that you're providing yourself with is high quality information. Make sure that you're reading some books. The content that you choose to consume, make sure that it's not dogmatic and ideological and pushing you in some kind of strange dogmatic direction in your life. Because it's easy for a lot of people to feel confused and then some kind of charismatic dogma and a person trying to persuade them, right? They kind of nudge them in a directions that doesn't really fit them. They nudge them in a dysfunctional direction in their life. So ensuring that your mind is actually being fed high quality information. On top of that, you see this thing right here, this phone? Make sure that you're not spending a lot of time on it. Do not escape your feelings and distract yourself from yourself using this device or technology or screens. Make sure you set boundaries with the unhealthy things, right? With the unhealthy food, unhealthy drinks, unhealthy emotional environments, unhealthy information. Make sure that essentially your intake, the energy that you're taking in, is something that is actually good for you, helping you to regulate your feelings, helping you to feel maybe better, right? Helping you to connect to your own feelings of uncertainty and feeling lost, right? They're fostering a deeper connection to yourself, essentially. On top of that, your social needs. Make sure that you're actually spending time connecting with people. Learn to actually just socialize and hold conversations with people. Work on some of your social skills. Make sure that you're just feeling connected and cared for by the people around you. We're humans. This is a need. You can't be all on your own, although solitude is actually very important as well. So you got to strike this balance between being by yourself and then being connected, being an individual, and then being part of a larger whole, being part of a larger community. So make sure that you're not neglecting your social needs as well. On top of that, spiritual needs, ensuring that your mind can be clear. You can feel grounded in the present. You can just feel connected to the present. You can feel connected to the people around you, the environment that you're in, to yourself. Make sure that you can be aware of yourself. A lot of this stuff is, I'm trying to foster a sense of just awareness within you, essentially. I'm trying to foster a deeper sense of self-awareness. That's really what a lot of this stuff is kind of pushing you in the direction of. Essentially, I'm just trying to help you to raise your consciousness. So moving on, I want you to really contemplate some of your core values. You ever ask yourself this question and then really act on it? Just what do I really value in life? And I do a lot of one-to-one coaching with people, and I've seen people kind of just answer this question in a very superficial way, wherein once I got my core values, but you really don't want to fall into that trap. Just admit that you don't know what your core values are. If you haven't spent a lot of time really contemplating them or figuring them out, don't just make up a list off the top of your head, right? And try and just get at least 5 of your really just core values. Maybe that's creativity, maybe that's connection to other people, maybe that's health and well-being, maybe that's meditation, maybe that's creating art that kind of links with creativity. So essentially, you're trying to get clear about just what do I really care about in life? What am I intrinsically motivated towards? That moves me on to the next one, is just, what intrinsically motivates you? Remember when you were a kid and you felt curious about something on the playground, so you just kind of innocently went and investigated it? What are the things that kind of bring that back? Right? What are you just naturally drawn towards that you don't need a reason to follow it? It's just this intuition, right? Maybe that's art or music or connecting with people or starting your own business. It could be anything, right? Essentially, it's just, what do I feel the most excited by? What makes me feel healthy? What makes me feel at peace? What makes me feel connected to myself? What fosters a deeper sense of well-being? You're asking yourself these questions, and essentially all this stuff is going to help you to have a more regulated nervous system as well, rather than always being in states of just kind of survival, fight, flight, or just shut down. So what are your core values? What motivates you? What intrinsically motivates you? You're looking at the things that really come from your own inner world, and you're trying to align your inner world with your external world, essentially. Moving on, there's 3 very core things that a lot of human life revolves around, which is health, career, and relationships. So, take this in a sense with a grain of salt, because I don't know exactly what you're oriented towards. Maybe you feel lost and uncertain because the relationship ended, right? So maybe you want to take a little bit of a break from that and focus more towards on your own personal well-being. Or maybe you lost your job or something. You don't really know what to do. So maybe you want to connect with other people or look for another job, right? So take into account health, career, and just relationships. And essentially, you don't want to have a lot of blind spots within these areas. You want to make sure that your health is really good, like I talked about earlier. You want to make sure that you can input your energy into something that is meaningful to you, something that gives you energy. Like when I record videos, I get very excited. I was extremely excited to come to this spot and start recording a bunch of videos. It's a very energizing thing, right? So next is, of course, relationships, ensuring that, you just have the connections that you need. And again, taking it with a grain of salt. Maybe you just got out of one and you just kind of want to take a little bit of a break, be in your own frame a little bit, right? So just watch how you're relating to these 3 sectors of your life and trying to just make sure that they're in balance. How do they make you feel, really? If you're always being drained by them, can you even navigate them relatively well, right? just kind of building some skills in these areas is never a bad idea, really. Especially if you haven't ever really done that before. Next is raising your consciousness. Increase your ability to be connected to the present, yourself, others, and your environment. So like I said earlier, everything here is, I'm kind of pushing, I don't want to use the word pushing, it's too aggressive. I'm trying to, in a sense, like pave the direction of raising your own consciousness. Right? All this stuff is kind of in service to your own well-being, and having higher levels of consciousness is essential to greater levels of well-being. So raising your consciousness is really just raising your awareness of yourself, of your connection to other people, your connection to the present, your connection to your immediate surroundings, right? Learning to just sit and observe and watch and just be mindful of what's happening. Observation without judgment, learning to accept what is, right? Learning to have new perspectives, filling your mind up with a lot of different perspectives, essentially. Right? So I can't really give you a straightforward answer of like 1, 2, 3, and then there's no more uncertainty, because like I said at the beginning of the video, life is unmessy, it's often very counterintuitive, it's very non-linear as well. So I really want to encourage you to attune to your own needs. Like I said, attuning to your own values, making sure that your own needs are met. Listen to your own body as well. Right? So it's like, just use my ideas as like some food for thought, some general things to contemplate. Try them out, experiment with them. If they don't work, toss them away. If they help you, awesome. That's it for this video. If you're interested in getting one-to-one coaching from me, you can apply to do that. Link is in the pinned comment. Take it easy.